Hey friends, welcome back to my channel. My name is Heather and this is Create Your Own Cozy. Happy New Year. It is the start of a brand new year, and while you don't have to have everything decided at the start of the year, it sure does help for a renewed energy and a reset for what you want out of your life and your creative business. So instead of doing a DIY video this week, which I started by the way, I decided it would be a good idea to reflect on 2024, what worked, what didn't work, and come up with a dream and a vision for what I want 2025 to look like for Create Your Own Cozy. So if you want to see what I come up with, stick around. Have been around with me for 2024 and at the start of the year, you will know that I had some pretty audacious goals. There's nothing wrong with audacious goals, but sometimes reality and the climate in specific areas kind of mess with your goals no matter what your effort. Do you know what I mean? First, let me say that I am a stickler for having a book for every year. My personal favorite is Erin Condren, Life Planner, Horizontal Layout. And in the beginning, I have my goals for the year, and this is my reflection. And for each month, I basically I print out the thumbnails for each of my videos. I do my videos, I do my mileage, I do my to-do list and any other big things that happen during this each month. So I'm able to go back and reflect on the view of the month. Did I have some sick days? I sure did over my birthday last year. But it's been good for me to be able to reflect well when I do wrap-ups and kind of see on a month-by-month basis how my business turned out. So I'm gonna go back to what I started with the beginning of the year last year and the things that I wanted and how I did. One of my first buckets, or my first bucket, was YouTube, because that has kind of been my central, it was my starting point. I started with YouTube before I started treating it like a business. And I had a stretch goal last year to hit 25,000 subs. I originally wanted to do 20,000 subs, but was encouraged to stretch it a little bit. I did end the year at 19,769 subs, but hear me out. YouTube, honestly, was a struggle last year. For the channels that were existing, there were a lot of people that said something is up with the algorithm. The people and the exposure that we were getting prior was not happening to the existing channels. Listen, it allowed for some really great growth for some new YouTuber friends of mine, but something was just different last year about YouTube. So I worked with it. I stayed consistent. I did have a Friday video most every week, depending, like I was sick once. So I was consistent with that. I had a goal to do an extra video a month. And while I did do some of those, this room being one of them, it is definitely something that got let go of, especially when there wasn't the consumption that I was hoping for the effort for the video. So I did not do an extra video per month. I think I did it 3 different times with my home spaces. I wanted to double the money I earned on YouTube. However, the money I earned on YouTube was pretty much cut in half last year. So listen, this is not like a Cry Me a River thing, but it was the reality of this particular income stream and this particular part of my business. I almost hit 20K. I earned half the money I hoped. No, I earned half the money as the prior year, not even what I had hoped. And I didn't do an extra video per month, but I did lead my very first collab in November last year for Connie's Papers. And I feel like creatively that went well. I don't know that it propelled other channels the way that I had hoped, but it was good to try on that leadership role for me and lead a collab the way that I would want others to lead me if I was part of a collab, if that makes sense. So YouTube, listen, I was consistent with my original love, right? My original love is connecting with you guys and having a community virtually. So I was consistent with that, and I allowed myself to take most of December off, which, can I just say, and the first Friday of January, honestly, I needed a break. There is something about creating a video and how it kind of hangs over your head as something that you need to get done. And to not have that and to have that space was really good for me, just emotionally and for my family. And it has made me just want to do it again, if that makes sense. Last year, I said I wanted to increase my booth sales by 15%. And many of you are in the retail world and in the booth world and know that a lot of sales definitely came to a halt with people worried about the economy. They were worried about the election. They didn't exactly want to spend or have extra money to spend. So I came up with an arbitrary number of increasing my sales by 15%. And I did not do that. However, what I did do, I made rent always at my Angry Mama's booth. But let me tell you, my products are what carried it. Absolutely. If I did not sell paint and Connie's papers and JRV papers, if I didn't have my DIY paint, like, I would not have made rent. So I can see how those who just have upcycled, vintage, and creative things could have been really challenged last year. So I'm thankful that I had a diversity of things to offer. I did open my second booth, Soul Sisters, which is in Dawsonville, Georgia, February 26th of last year. And I only sell IoD products there. I basically got that booth. It's $56 a month, guys. I think the last time I looked at it, annualized, I averaged 6 times my rent in sales for that space because it is a little tiny cubby. I have a lot of product that I can fit in that little cubby. And honestly, those launches, they really helped kind of get that number up on those launch months to kind of make the average 6 times my rent, which I think is absolutely great. So did I increase my total booth sales by 15%? Let me look at the numbers and see if I hit that target, if I adding a booth. I wanted to add some signage to make my shopping experience better. So I added some DIY, JRV, and Connie paper signage that helped it be a little bit more shopper friendly. I will, to be continued, what I want to do this coming year. Facebook, guys, I did not worry about Facebook growth. I said, let's hit 10,000 followers. Let's do 5 reels a week, add DIY videos, post more. I didn't. And I think some of this goes back to, I didn't properly look at what my mission statement was and make these goals based on what I want the mission of my company to be. What I did do on Facebook this year, which I was reluctant to do from the beginning, is I created an online community group on my Create Your Own Cozy Facebook page. Like, you just join a community group, and it's a way for us to be able to share, engage, just so I can see what's going on with you. YouTube is a wonderful platform, but it is not like you can't write a comment and show me a picture of what you've been working on. So Facebook, to me, if I started a community page, I wanted to be engaged in it. And I felt like this year I finally had the capacity and the desire to engage with you guys and build it in my schedule. So I created the community group, and I think that is an amazing way to use Facebook. I'm not trying to monetize it at this time. I'm trying to have it be, it's a way to like have my people and be able to connect with you guys. So I'm really excited about that. Did I do those other things? No. Maybe one day that will be a focus for me, but my mission is not to just grow at any expense. I want to grow in a smart way where I am growing in places that offer community and allow me to be on mission. That being said, I did do a couple things in the event category that were not on my list at all. I did attend the Haven conference, which was really good. It is for influencers. It's a really good way for people to connect and learn a little bit more about our trade, which is crazy because I feel like I'm the creative trade. But when you add the digital community, the virtual community, there is a different, it's not understood by everybody. So it was nice to go to a conference with friends that I had been mostly online with. So that was really good. And then Sana asked me to teach at her retreat in Wisconsin in October. And that was something that really fed my soul as far as being able to connect with people one-on-one. I kind of spearheaded with a group of a couple others, staying at a B&B. There were 16 of us that stayed there. And that part of the community was something that really was like, ooh, I want more of this. So that event helped me realize how I want to move into the next year. Let's talk about website. At the beginning of the year, I was like, let me just make sure I get all my products added. Make sure IOD is on there by the end of the year. I added IOD in February, right? So in February 26th, when I opened my Soul Sisters booth, that's when I could add IOD to my website too. I didn't have to carry every single thing that they offer because I had my location, but on the website, I could carry as much of the things that I could afford to. I am a no debt company and I don't buy things if I don't have the money to buy the wholesale product. So that was really cool. Like at the end of 23, I had made $1,000 on my website.
So I just checked my numbers and my website increase. Now, to be fair, I only had it for like 3 months at the end of 2023, but I increased by over 2,500%. That's pretty stinking amazing. And since I figured out that percentage, I'm pretty excited about it.
That's pretty great for a website to go from, oh, you're just kind of here, and to being something that has been consistent. It is a way, like, listen, I know it's because of you guys. Like that is the benefit of YouTube, you know, not paying out as far as AdSense goes. Like, but I'm still able to have a community with you guys, and you guys are so kind and gracious and want to support me and buy stuff from my website. So I know that like my website doesn't have the best SEO out there. So like strangers can find me and buy from me. I know it's because you guys go look for my website. You go look for these products because I've shown them to you on here, or you want them and you want to support me. So that is just stinking amazing. My hope is to make it more shopper friendly. I'll talk about this year. Man, this is gonna be a boring video. Inventory management was on my list last year. I had no thrift for the first quarter of the year, and I honored that. I took 3 months off of thrifting, and I organized my retail room down in the basement in January. And that was one of my extra videos where I showed you guys how I took my storage of my stash, made it more accessible. I do need to go back and tend to that, but the system worked, and it is something that I'm so glad I made the time for last January, because tending to it is so much easier than starting from scratch. So I did a great job with that. And the no thrifting for a quarter really helped me change the way I shopped for the rest of the year. And if I look at my expenses under my thrifting category for my business, they have decreased quite a bit because I am smarter when I go in and I don't feel this need to go more often. I'm realizing some of my thrifting was I'm feeling bad about something and I want to go shop to feel better. And that's not good for me in my brain space because my retail space has plenty of inventory. Shop down in my basement and feel better that way because you're managing what you've got. You're managing the treasures you've already found instead of go look for new treasures to make yourself feel better. I did not get to my garage the way I wanted to. I did a couple clean outs of my garage. That's where the bigger furniture lives, but furniture has not been moving for me in my booth. So haven't been getting to more furniture. I did do space upgrades in my studio in the basement. I did upgrade that. I did my retail space in the basement. I did this dining room, which can I tell you, this room, and I know it's not a used room in most houses, but it's something I sit across from often, and I look in here and I feel cozy. I feel calm. This was my favorite room at Christmas. So it is encouraging me to create more spaces like this in the rest of my home. So I am so thankful I finally got to this room. I'm loving this wallpaper. I have a video about this, but I still have it like a little winterized. I couldn't take all of the stuff out, so I have it more for winter right now. And in the evening, I do have my little automatic candles that come on, and it is just such a great room to walk by and have this calm, cozy feel. That is how I want my home to feel. It's how I want my life to feel. You know what I mean? And then I did Piper's room. I did 2 episodes of doing some items in Piper's room in her vintage bedroom, and that was so much fun to do with her. Kid is like, what, 15 and a half almost at this point. I'm super realizing that graduating from high school is right around the corner. So I'm so glad that we had that experience to do together, and she just loves searching for finds for her room, and I love that she has caught the makeover vintage book. So that was the wrap up from last year. If you guys are new here, welcome to Create Your Own Cozy. I would love it if you hit subscribe, give me a thumbs up, and let me know you are here. I've been brainstorming about this year's, and I don't have everything written out yet to put in my calendar for this year because I want it to be like finalized. But it's been really good for me this week to be brainstorming about what I want to focus on this year with Create Your Own Cozy. I'm working on solidifying, I know what my values are, right? The values that stick out to me are authenticity, community, excellence, and cozy, which in my mind translated to safe, like a cozy space. You come home and you feel like this is a place that I can rest and reset. So those are my values and my principles, my guiding principles that I want to run CYOC, which is what I call Create Your Own Cozy around here. I am working on what my vision statement, what I really want my vision to be in the next 5-10 years of this business. Like, what kind of impact do I want to make? What kind of, where do I see this going if I could just wish it? You know what I mean? And then coming up with mission statements so that on the day-to-day basis, I can be like, is this on mission? Do I need to go shopping right now? Is that feeding the mission of my business? So I'm working through these things, guys. And January 1st, yes, it would have been nice if I could hit the ground running with January 1st. But listen, this whole first month can be like a reboot, a restart. And that's kind of how I'm looking at it. So here's what I have as I'm brainstormed for 2025. The first little bucket in my mind, I'm going to look at it differently. I'm going to cultivate areas of my business that are working, right? If I can look at my 3 years in, all of my profit in the last 2 to 3 years. The first year there was not profit at all. But all of my profit was going into investing in wholesale products. I started with DIY paint. I quickly added JRV after that because that buy-in was not super huge. And I added IOD, who is someone I couldn't locally get to Angry Mamas. So I went to another community, had my booth up in Dawsonville, added IOD, and that has been the quickest replenishment of funds. So when I say that, I mean, say I did a $4,000 order, technically that should bring in $8,000 worth of revenue if every single thing sells, right? So that profit was then reinvested back into the product, and now I can say that all of my wholesale has paid for itself. So any of the inventory that I have in my booth or in my basement ready to ship, it's been paid for by my own profit. So I feel very confident in continuing all the lines that I'm doing. And then I added Connie's papers, which that is something that is a no-brainer for me. And they have done really well. You guys really seem to like her papers. The beginning of February, hopefully, is going to be the opening date. I have been approved by IOD to go into Angry Mama's new location. They're opening a second location in Ball Ground, Georgia, which is a little bit west of Cumming, where the original location is, and I'm going to be selling my IOD product in there. At the moment, I'm going to be having them in both places, which is Soul Sisters and Angry Mama's Ball Ground, just to kind of see which ones perform the best. I'm going to continue adding items to my website. Every time I make a new IOD order, I usually add one new product that I've been wanting to carry. So eventually I can carry the entire line, but it just allows me to add slowly and not feel overwhelmed by the expense. I'm going to make shopping better by adding signage and samples to like the IOD world. That is my plan, and my hope and goal is to do intro, like 101 type videos for all of these products that I can put a QR code in the booths where I sell the products to say, are you new to this? You should watch this video, and be able to put that on my website in case someone is shopping and is interested in the product but doesn't know how to use it. There's a I don't know, DIY paint for beginners type thing. I know I can send them to Debbie, and Debbie has that kind of stuff, but why not be me if I want it to be my community and my customer? So website, totally working. So I need to improve the SEO, which is the search engine optimization. That's just code for you have to go in and make sure all keywords match all the keywords, and the little thing turns green for each product, for each page. It is annoying work, but eventually is impactful, so it's worth getting in and doing. I need to add the back in stock plugin. Costs some money, but I think it is worth it now. If I have something that's out of stock, I think it's worth investing in that plugin so that if you're looking for a certain thing and I get it back in stock, it'll alert you, and it should translate to people saying, oh great, I'm gonna grab it. And adding vintage and thrifted items. That is something I've been considering doing since those sales are not translating as well at my Angry Mama store. And it is a way to use Facebook, right? So hypothetically, I know Jamie and Zeb do this over at Jamie Ray Vintage. Facebook could be a good avenue to do some lives where I showcase some of the things that I found or am selling, and then when that video goes live, it goes live on my website. I had not had good luck with that, and just the other day, someone randomly bought 4 mugs that I had on there from a long time ago that were made in Japan, and I'm like, oh, it's a good little reminder. This is an option to do that. So that is, I'm continuing my website. If I sell products, it's going on my website. That is something that I found is a good partner with YouTube. Booths. I need to add items to Angry Mom as often. I was not working my booth like I should. Was I getting wholesale updated and stuff? Yes. Was I changing out the other side of the booth often? I was not. And was it December? When did I do it? January. I went in and I did I just brought some stuff and immediately sold 5 things that I brought in. And I'm like, oh my goodness, I should do this more often. So I want to tend to my booths, keep up my product inventory, and have a schedule or a routine in when I'm going to be visiting, since now I will have 3 locations. 2 of them are wholesale only, so it's not as much thought. It's more replenishing, but it'd be good for me to tend and cultivate growth in my booths. YouTube, I would like to increase the quality of my content, have it be more thought out, have it be scheduled, and add margin to my life so I can be a week ahead, so that when I get sick or when the kids get sick or when something happens, it's okay. So when I do that, and I did a little bit of that last year, it was amazing. And I don't tend to do that naturally, so it's going to require some creative self-manipulation. Do I need to reward myself if I do it? Maybe that's the answer. I give myself rewards if I get ahead. And I would love to watch other people's content on how to be a better editor and a better, just make my skills better in the video editing world. That is my first bucket. It's a lot of information, I know. Stick with me. My hope is that this encourages you to apply some of this thinking to your own business or life and make it your own, right? My next little bucket is to grow new streams of income. So the first one was cultivating what was working from last year. The next area I'm going to focus on is the bucket called growing new streams of income. First thing I'm going to do is start a coaching group, which if you were over in my Create Your Own Cozy community on Facebook, that is where I started having the discussions. I sent out some quote unquote application questions for people that were interested in, and you are seeing this on Friday. So last night, Thursday night, was my very first coaching group, and it is going to be a 10 session group that is held every other week. And it is going to be closed for that entire session so that we can get to know each other. We can work through, deep dive into some business things that we want to work through in the creative world. Now, while that, as of this video, should already be going and working, the second thing that I have a heart for is to create a community group, which is different from the coaching group. The coaching group is heavy into business. Let's go through business details together. The community group would be more of a top line thing where, yes, we discuss having a creative business, but it is more lighthearted and not so deep into details. Because my coaching group is every other Thursday, it's the second and fourth Thursday evenings of each month, my thought was to have the community group be bi-monthly as well, but just do it the first and third Thursday evenings of it each month. So if you are interested in that, please shoot me an email at heather@createyourowncozy.com or put it in the comments here with your email address. My email has been a little weird lately. So I would love to know if you guys have interest for that. That is something that has been on my heart ever since Wisconsin, and being able to connect with people that I've met online. Soul Sisters, they want me to do some workshops up there with IOD, and I am done with my excuses. I think I'm ready to start doing something like that. So we were talking about getting one of those scheduled here in the first quarter. If that is something that works well, maybe continuing that as a possible income stream. And then my heart really after Wisconsin is to have some type of an in-person retreat I don't know what that looks like. That'll probably be summer or after in my mind. Like, I'm not ready to dive into that, but it is on my heart for sure. So that is something that I'm also interested in, probably in the Atlanta area, at least one. I'm not opposed to traveling. And then my last bucket, honestly, is something that I created this business to do, is to create my own cozy. A lot of the stuff that I've been doing has been to help other people's homes or other people's stuff, and I need to put some effort into my spaces in creating margin and cozy for my life. To do that, I'm gonna reduce my stash. My garage furniture stash, if I paid nothing to little for it and it is just in the way, I'm either going to sell it for nothing or little on Facebook Marketplace or go donate it. Like, I'm tired of looking at these things and being mad at myself for not getting to them. The idea at first was they would make a good project or a good investment, but if furniture's not selling, why am I holding on to it? Same thing in my retail space. I'm gonna go through and say why I bought this to upcycle because I had a vision for it. If I don't have that vision for it anymore, it's not serving me, it's just annoying me and making me frustrated with my past self. So I'm gonna do something about that. I wanna create margin in my schedule by not allowing myself to drag my feet about making my videos. Be ahead of schedule and do it at the beginning of the week, not the end of the week. Like, that would have some margin in my week to be a mom and a wife and, oh, by the way, a business owner who's running around to 3 different booths. I would love to upgrade my home, use some of the money that has come in through this stuff to upgrade more spaces in my home and let me open, I don't know, my laundry room and say, oh, this laundry room is cozy, instead of, oh my gosh, here's another project I need to get to. I'm gonna add systems for check-ins. I want to put on the schedule at the end of Q1. Let's look at where we are with everything. I already have systems now for the end of each month to go through my numbers, to do certain things each month, but I wanna add that on a more quarterly basis so that I'm reflecting on my business 4 times a year instead of at the end of the year, if that makes sense. Be ahead of videos and be ahead of preparing for coaching. With the coaching, I want to have a holistic approach of understanding the person who started the business and what they want and applying what they want it to be for each individual person. So I'm basically coming up with this is my beta group, it's my first group. I'm coming up with the content and I want to do that well. So I want to do it ahead of schedule and have that worked out. So that is something that has just been churning in my mind lately, and it's been kind of fun. It's been kind of fun to go back to, I mean, I have a business degree in finance. It was at the School of Business. There was a lot of marketing, a lot of business planning happened in the School of Business, and it's been really fun to realize I've been applying it to my business, but give names to it, add more officialness to it, if that makes any sense. And then the last thing I have on here is to create for myself. I don't know what that's gonna look like. Honestly, right now, I feel like if I upgrade my home, that'll feel like creating for myself. But it's important. It's important that I find a way to feed my creative soul on a regular basis and remember why I started a creative business, because I could easily go out and get a job and make a lot more money for the time I put into it than this business. But there's a reason why I'm drawn to this business. I feel like this creative avenue allows for a lot of redemption, allows for personal growth that is not able to be quantified with a paycheck. So I want to remember to create for myself, and maybe if that's something that you are drawn to remind yourself to do that as well. So by the time I edit this, I have no idea how long this is gonna be. But if you're still here, I just want to say thank you for being here. I appreciate that you're a part of the Create Your Own Cozy family. If you're not, please hit that subscribe button and hit your notification bell to all so you can get updated anytime I add a new video. Do I see this channel changing? Probably, possibly. Am I still gonna do DIY videos? You betcha. Am I gonna add some home stuff? That is my hope and my dream. Am I going to include some of the behind the scenes with the small business? Maybe. I have to figure out how to work it all in, but it is something that is on my mind and my heart. Let me know if you have any feedback for me in the comments below. I am so thankful you guys are here, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.
That's funny. Piper was collecting that for her treat, and now Henry. Oh, Henry, your hat fell down. What do you think of the snow? What do you think of the snow? At the top of the driveway because of the driveway we have. We didn't want to get stuck. That'd be a little bit. Hi, Hadley. Oh! He's more excited now that you're with him, Hadley. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to check me out over at createyourowncozy.com.